What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video, and I'm just checking in on you. What's going on? How's it going? Now today is October the 6th, and this is going to be your weekly vendor reset and must-buys. So sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. But we're going to start off here in Washington, D.C., and we will finish up in New York City. Our first vendor is going to be the Base of Ops vendor. Here we go.
Good to see you.
And starting off at the top, we have the Pristine Example. This is the named Araldi chess piece with perfect focus. And this week, crit chance and status effects. This is a really good one to pick up. Highly recommend, and even a must-buy if you like this type of chess piece, because what you can do is recalibrate the status effects off for headshot damage, and you could go crit chance headshot, and this would be perfect for a marksman rifle build focused on headshot. Or you could go double crit, just recalibrate the status effects off for crit hit damage, and you are good to go. Moving on to the weapons, we have a MP5 with damage to armor and sadist. Nice! This is actually a really good MP5. And what's even better is it does come with the long underbarrel rail attachment slot, so you could easily just change sadist over to flatline and then put a linked laser pointer on there for some more amplified damage that way to pulsed enemies. But sadist is super strong, especially with, like, say, a Ridgeway's Pride chess piece build, or running something with trauma or perfect trauma that makes your enemies bleed. Moving on, we have a F2000 with max damage to armor. Nice. And spike. What I would say is you would change that talent to whatever it is you want, and you're good to go. However, you would have to optimize the AR and health damage, and that's just too costly to recommend. And finally, for the weapons, we have a PX4 Storm Type F with crit hit damage and vindictive. Looking at the gear items, we have a Overlord backpack with companion, headshot, and explosive resistance. And finally, a Alps Summit chest piece with reassigned skill damage and headshot damage. Looking at the mods, we have headshot 7.2, drone health 8.4, turret duration 5.9, and sticky bomb damage of 6.3. Now, must-buys, things to look for from the Base of Ops vendor: the Araldi chess piece. The named variant, being the Pristine Example, is a must-buy. Crit chance, just throw either headshot or crit hit damage on there. You are good to go. And then the MP5, damage to armor and sadist, is perfect for a bleed build. But all right, that is it for that Base of Ops vendor. Let's jump over here to the Countdown and Clan vendors. Now, just a reminder, these vendors are also in New York City, and I'm going to show you them here now. That way, whenever I jump over to the Haven, I don't have to show you. So here is the Countdown vendor. Starting with the Boomstick. This is the named double barrel shotgun with perfect pumped up. And this week it comes with damage to targets out of cover, which is exactly what you want for this. I mean, this is easily a one-tap, a one-hitter quitter, if you will. And with this being a two-round, a double-barrel shotgun, it's a boom-boom, lights out. So you put this on a nice shotgun build, and you'll be able to two-tap anything in the game. I'm telling you, this thing is at 1.3 million damage, and that's not even maxed out or with expertise. You could easily, get that up to, like, what, 1.5, 1.6 mil? Easy. And damage to targets out of cover, that's exactly what you want. So what I would do is just max out the shotgun damage and then just optimize the damage to armor and damage to targets out of cover. Following that, we have another Pristine Example. This one, repair skills and explosive resistance. I would stay away from this one and pick up the one at the Base of Ops. And finally, we have the Invisible Hand. This is it's actually the only weapon in the game that has perfect Allegro or Allegro. This is an old talent that was in the game in year one, but they did take it out of the game. So here is perfect Allegro, not too shabby. And this this variant has pretty high AR damage. All you would have to do is just recalibrate the reload speed to damage to targets out of cover or damage to armor, and you're good to go. That's not bad. It's a decent weapon, but just remember, Perfect Allegro, that only increases your rate of fire, so your overall damage is not going to get a big increase. Just a little bit of your time to kill and overall DPS might be a little bit higher, but opposing to something like Flatline or Sadist or anything that amplifies your damage, it's a big difference. But all right, going to the clan vendor, and shout out to the DoD Disciples of Doom. We are on all platforms, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So if you are interested in joining, just jump over to my Discord, and you'll see the links to put your name on the list. And speaking of clans, here is the clan vendor.
Good of you to stop by.
Starting with the Lightning Rod. This is the named pistol with perfect salvage. Going to the gear set items, we have a tip of the spear, pair of knee pads with skill damage, rigger gloves with repair skills, and Hunter's Fury chest piece with headshot damage. Looking at the high-end items, we have a SIG MPX with crit hit damage and eyeless, an X45 tactical with max pistol damage, stability, and vindictive, an LVOAC with, dude, max rifle damage, damage to targets at a cover, and vindictive. That's a really good rifle. Just change the talent to whatever talent you want. A M870 with swap speed and close and personal. Close and personal is good for a shotgun, but just change the swap speed to damage to targets at a cover. And finally, for the weapons, a M45A1 with reload speed and close and personal. Looking at the gear items, ooh, pick up this Bellstone Armory backpack. Wicked and crit chance. Just change the health to armor regen, and then you could put this with the Ridgeway's Pride chest piece and do an armor regen bleed build, aka a vampire build. Dude, this makes me want to put another one together. I might do that today. All right. I might do that today. Yeah, we might have to do another bleed build. And finally, a Wyvern pair of gloves with hazard and headshot. Looking at the mods, we have Skill Haste 10.6, Repair Skills 17.4, Seeker Mine damage 4.3, and Drone Health of 8.9. Now, must buys, things to look for from the clan vendor. The LVOAC was okay. The M870 was, it's all right. But that Bellstone Armory backpack is the way to go. Definitely pick up that backpack. All right, that is it for the base of ops, all three of those vendors. So now we are going to head west, and then we will double back east. Our first stop is going to be at the campus settlement. Now, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up. Support the channel by subscribing and let me know what you're picking up today. Am I missing any must-buys that you think? Let's discuss in the comment section below. And finally, shout out where you're from. It's always cool to see where everyone's from. All right, here we go. Campus. Starting with the Carnage. Yeah, dude, perfect sadist. They're really making me want to do a bleed build today. This one with health damage, easily just recalibrate the health damage off for damage to armor, and you're good to go. Following that, we have a Tactical 308 with damage to armor and perpetuation, and a Stoner LAMG with frenzy and accuracy. You know what? Screw it. I'll make a Carnage build. Screw it. Like a Carnage regeneration build. That'll be fun. For the gear items, we'll have... Ooh. Okay. This is a must-buy. Walker and Harris mask with crit chance and headshot. This is perfect for marksman rifle builds, headshot builds, or you could make this for a DPS build. Crit chance and headshot is really strong, especially for ARs if you run it in a tank style. So you could easily pick this one up, change the weapon damage to an armor core, and you're good to go. I would probably put a crit chance mod on there as well. And finally, we have a 511 holster with health and hazard. I mean, that's okay, but 511 is just so weak of a brand set, I just wouldn't recommend it. Looking at the mods, we have Skill Haste 9.9, Chem Launcher Damage 4.3, Hive Health 7.7, Pulse Skill Haste 5.0, and Trap Duration of 4.2. Now, must-buys, things to look for from the campus. The Carnage, definitely pick that one. Pick this one up and then change the health damage to damage to armor. And then the Walker Harris mask is a good one to pick up. All right, that is it for the campus. Now it's time to jump over to our Dark Zone vendors. Our first stop is going to be Dark Zone West. Ha West! Let's go. Oh, and a reminder for all of the Dark Zone vendors, they only take Dark Zone resources as currency. So to double check your Dark Zone resources, go to your resources tab, go all the way down to your keys, and just above your keys, you will see your DZ resources. For example, you can see here I'm at 269 out of 999. And that means if I need any more Dark Zone resources, I have to go into the Dark Zone, either pick up the little blue boxes that are scattered amongst the Dark Zone. Those will go straight into your inventory. Or you have to pick up contaminated items, deconstruct them into DZ resources, and then you have to extract them for them to go into your stash, and then you can put them into your inventory. So I would say just run around and pick up the little blue boxes, but that's just me. All right. Now, with that being said, here is your first Dark Zone vendor, Dark Zone West. West! Let's go.
Anything you're looking for?
And starting with the Harmony. This is the named rifle with Perfectly in Sync, and this week it comes with magazine size. Following that, we have a military M870 with health damage and vindictive, a police MK17 with magazine size and boomerang. Looking at the gear items, we have Umbra gloves with status effects, Rigger knee pads with headshot damage, Golden Gear gloves with crit damage and health, and finally 511 knee pads with armor regen and explosive resistance. Looking at the mods, we have Pulse Resistance 8.5, Seeker Mine Healing 5.9, Shield Damage Bonus 1%, Firefly Speed 8.0, and Decoy Duration of 6.0. Now, must buys, things to look for from DZ West. The Harmony is rare. Pick that one up, make it fully proficient if you want. But if you want to keep the weapon, I would say recalibrate the magazine size off for either damage to targets at a cover or damage to armor. That is it for DZ West. Now it's time to take our talents to the south, the deep south, Dark Zone South. Here we go. Yeah, going down south, boy, the DZ South. Let's go.
If I don't have it,
All right,
it's not worth
that kind of hurts my throat when I do that. That's what she said. Heyo. All right, DZ South.
It's very good to see you.
Starting with the Point Man. This is the named Heliogard chest with Perfect Vanguard, and this one hazard and headshot damage. Not bad for a support build. Definitely pick this one up. You could change the headshot to, armor regen if you want to go like a tanky version. You could change the hazard to crit chance if you want to go more of a damage version. Either way, it's a good one to pick up, DZ South. Moving on, we have a Tactical Vector SBR 9mm, with Rate of Fire and Perpetuation. Not my favorite. A Honey Badger with damage to targets at a cover and Optimist. Yo, that's a really good Honey Badger. And you know what they say about Honey Badgers. They don't give a fuck. And finally, Officer's M9A1 with armor damage and eyeless. Looking at the gear items, we have a hardwired backpack with health, hot shot chest piece with headshot damage, nice. Habsburg Guard backpack with safeguard, skill haste, and explosive resistance, and finally, Providence defense chest piece with crit chance, armor regeneration, and protected reload. Looking at the mods, we have headshot 6.9, drone damage 4.1, turret skill haste 6.1, and sticky bomb burn duration of 4%. Now, must buys from DZ South. The Point Man is nice, and the Honey Badger, that's pretty nice. The Hot Shot's not bad, but it is really expensive from the DZ vendor.
I appreciate it.
All right, we are done with DZ South. Now, before we get to DZ East, we have to make a pit stop over here to the Castle Settlement. Now, remember, for the Castle Settlement, you need to go to the descent entrance. That way, not only are you right here next to the vendor, but you can run over here to Ransom and pet the dog really quick. What's up? Oh, you just stretching? All right. See you later, Ransom. And then we're going to run over here to the castle settlement vendor before this music starts blaring. Here we go. Starting with the Tabula Rasa. This is the named LMG with perfectly steady-handed and this week health damage as the bottom attribute. Following that, we have a tactical 308 with health damage and determined. Nice. That's a really good marksman rifle. All you need to do is recalibrate that health damage off for damage to targets at a cover, and you're good to go. Following that, we have a black market RPK with magazine size and ignited. Not bad. For the gear items, we have a Raldi mask with armor regen, hazard, and max weapon damage. Not bad. And then finally, Brazos holster with max armor, headshot, and skill haste. Looking at the mods, we have skill duration 8.6, chem launcher and snare duration 7.7, hive duration 4.2, pulse skill haste 4.9, and trap duration of 4.1. Now, must buys things to look for from the castle settlement. Not really, to be honest. I would not recommend any of those items. And then to our last Dark Zone vendor, DZ East. I do not go to the main entrance. I go to the Alpha checkpoint. Go to the Alpha checkpoint. You might hit a double loading, but here we did not. And then just exit. And here's your vendor right here. If you go to the main entrance, you'll spawn way out there, and then you have to run all the way through the courtyard. So it's faster to just go to the Alpha checkpoint. Here we go. DZ East, starting with the Ekams long stick. This is the named marksman rifle with perfect ranger, and this one with magazine size. I would change the magazine size off for damage to targets at a cover, and you'll be good to go. Yo, will Isaac shut the... Thank you, Isaac. After that, we have a M700 carbon with, determined. This is another great marksman rifle. Whenever you see determined on there, just change swap speed off for either damage to targets at a cover or damage to armor, and you're good to go with that sniper. And finally, for the weapons, a military L86 with crit hit damage and eyeless. Looking at the gear items, we have tip of the spear, mask with crit hit damage, hot shot holster with headshot, nice, Empress mask with health and crit chance, and finally, Bellstone Armory holster with armor regen and skill damage. Looking at the mods, we have skill haste 10.1, chem launcher damage 4.2, hive plus 4 stem charges, pulse radius 8.5, and trap duration of 4.3. Now, must buys from DZ East, the Ekams long stick, change it to damage to targets at a cover, and the M700 carbon, change it to damage to targets at a cover.
Glad we could
Hostiles guarding location.
And that
nearby.
is it for Washington, D.C. Well, actually, we have one more stop, and that is the theater. We're going to the theater. Hopefully we get some good drops here. Usually this guy has something good for us. All right, man. Big money, big money, big money. No whammies at the theater.
Always nice
There you
to see an
go.
ace
Contractor's gloves. Perfect. These will forever be must-buys. Forever. They are best in slot for any damage or armor build or damage and armor build. And in fact, you can use these on some skill builds. The reason why these pair of gloves are so sought after is it comes with damage to armor as an attribute. It's the only item in the game that will do that for you. Pick these up right now. Contractor's gloves. All you need to do is recalibrate the weapon handling off for whatever it is you want, and then just optimize that weapon damage. It will be worth it. I promise you. I'm wearing contractor's gloves right now on my build as we speak. So pick these up at the theater settlement right now. Moving on, we have a double barrel sawed-off with strained and crit hit damage. And then finally, a military MK17 with health damage and ignited. Looking at the gear items, we have Empress gloves with status and weapon handling. And finally, Hanayu knee pads with weapon handling and skill haste. The Hanayu's not bad. Just recalibrate the weapon handling off for skill damage. And the Empress isn't bad. If you want skill damage status effects, definitely pick these up and recalibrate the weapon handling for skill damage there as well. You're good to go. Looking at the mods, we have blind death resistance, 8.3. Seeker Mine Skill Haste 4.9, Shield Damage Bonus 1%, Firefly Speed 8.3, and Decoy Duration of 5.5. Now, must buys, things to look for from the theater. The Contractor's Gloves, definitely pick them up. The Empress Gloves and the Hanayu aren't bad for skill builds, so check those out as well. And that is it for DC. Now it's time to jump over to New York City. And to do so, we will fast travel to the Haven settlement. And remember, there are 2 vendors over here. The first one's at the top of the escalator, being Marco. And then we have Roy Benitez just outside. So let's run up there and talk to Marco.
Safe area entered.
All right, and let's see what's popping in good old New York. Now, starting with, there we go, a Vector SB, ooh, must buy. That is a must buy Vector. All right, buy this Vector right now. Vector SBR 9mm, damage to targets out of cover as that bottom attribute. All you need to do is recalibrate that talent for anything you want. It doesn't matter. Just take off in sync for whatever it is you want, and you have a great Vector SBR 9mm. Moving on, we have a Hunting M44 with health damage and eyeless. The Thorn, this is the new named shotgun with perfect brazen. And this one with damage to targets out of cover, and that is exactly what you want, so that's a good pickup as well. And finally, a M1911 with crit chance and perpetuation. Looking at the gear items, we have a Cheska backpack with companion, hazard, and explosive resistance. Not bad. Do like a tanky double companion build. That could be nice. Change the weapon damage to an armor. Nice. Brazos knee pads with armor regen and explosive resistance. And finally, Sokolov Concern mask with crit hit damage and armor regen. That's a good mask, especially for crit regen builds. Just change the weapon damage to an armor core. You're good to go. That is a really good mask. I'm going to pick one up as well. Looking at the mods, we have crit chance 4.6, armor on kill 15.5k, turret plus 1 extra sniper, hive plus 4 repair charges, and finally decoy duration of 6.0. Now, must buy things to look for from Marco. Pick up the Vector SBR 9mm right now. Pick up this Vector. It's a good one. The Thorn isn't bad. Just max out the attributes. The Cheska backpack isn't bad. Just change it to an armor. And the Sokolov Concern mask is pretty damn good. Just change the weapon damage to an armor core. All right. And that leaves us with our last vendor of the video, Roy Benitez. Oh, but wait. Make sure you interact with the doggy twice. Make sure you interact twice. The first one, you're just petting the dog. Pretty simple. But the next interaction is random every time. There are 5 different interactions. Let's see what we get this week. Here we go. Maybe he'll roll over or something. Oh, 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 oh. He psyched us out. Good job. And finally, Roy Benitez.
Hey.
Starting with the tactical MK16 with damage to targets at a cover and on empty. A surplus SVD with a reload speed and fast hands. Resolute MK47 with ranger and magazine size. And finally, for the weapons, a M1911 with reload speed and lucky shot. Looking at the gear items, we have a Petrov chest piece with armor regen, crit chance, and gunslinger. Okay. Electric pair knee pads with weapon handling and crit hit damage. And finally, Douglas and Harding holster with weapon handling and crit hit damage. Looking at the mods, we have repair skills 16.1, armor on kill 15.1k, shield deflector damage 4.3, pulse radius 8.7, and trap duration of 4.3. Now, must buy things to look for from Roy Benitez. Nah, nothing. Big goose egg right there, my guy. But all right, everybody, that is it for our weekly vendor reset and must buys for today, August 6th. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If so, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Support the channel by subscribing, and you know the whole YouTube spiel. Make sure you ring that notification bell. That way you don't miss a single Division 2 video. But again, that's it for me. I'm Kamikazevondoom. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.